I'll start back here.
Easiest question for you. Easiest question for you. Obviously, you won it. You took it home. How exciting is it for you?
It was really fun to win here. I've never been out to Duluth before, so I just found the crowd's energy and just the energy on the course made it really. It was really inspiring and it really kept me going. So it meant a lot to me. Yeah.
How nice was the course from the start? I know it's a little bit serene, and then coming in for the final stretch, it's nice and crowded a little bit. How nice is that?
Yeah, it was wonderful. As we were driving out there, I was just taking it all in and looking at the lake and thinking just how pretty it was. I grew up in England, so it's a pretty similar scenery with all the trees and the water, and I felt really at home. So I really enjoyed running. I mean, you don't take too much in when you're running, but I enjoyed taking in the scenery at the very start and then finishing. Right here, it was fun to see the change as you progress through the race.
Do you have a personal record that you kind of set for yourself for this race?
I was a little bit short of what I was shooting for today. I was trying to run around 1:11 and around 1:12, but I was close enough, and I gave it what I could today, so that's where I was at. But I was happy with my effort, I would say.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Could you describe the race? How did it go from the start? Who led? How big the pack was? How much competition you got?
Yeah, there was three girls in front of me up until about mile 4, and we were all working together, but we were really tightly packed. I had to stop for the bathroom at mile 4, so then I ended up quite a way off the group, and I could see them up in front. So it took me until about mile 10 to catch back up again, and I just had to key off them and work really hard to get back to them. And then about mile 10, I got back to 3rd, and then I think at mile 11, maybe 11 and a half, I got back to the front. And then I think when you're at the front, you always run a little bit scared because you don't know who's coming for you and how close they are. So I latched on to one of the men, and he was really great. He helped me through the finish. So it was kind of lonely out there for those middle miles, just because I'd fallen off a little bit and then had to claw my way back. But that last mile and a half was really fun because that's where all the people are on the sides. But yeah, it kind of broke the race up for me a little bit into 3 chunks.
And just your general impression, was it a hard race, hard competition for you, like you expected, or it was better?
I know all of the girls that were the top 4, and I know that they're really good runners, so I knew it was going to be a tough day if I wanted to win. That was my goal coming into it, but I also I'd have to work really hard for it because they're great athletes. So it was what I expected. It didn't necessarily pan out the way I thought it would, but it was a really good racing experience. I had to dig really deep and work really hard in those last few miles. And they came with me, and I think we all kind of made each other better today, which is always what you're after.
And how did you feel about the weather? It was sunny, I know, but what about the temperature? Wasn't it too low for you, or just the right?
It was just right. Yeah, I live and train in Arizona, so but growing up in England, it was. I always prefer this kind of weather. I really struggle in the heat, so coming here was a lot like at home. So I was really happy today. I love these temperatures, and I think we were really lucky with the wind, and it wasn't humid. It was just perfect. I think it was around 50 maybe. So you couldn't have asked for a better day.
And what are the future plans? What other new races are you going to do?
I have about 9 weeks, and I'm running the marathon at the European Championships for Great Britain. So this fit into the training schedule at a really good point because we could see where I'm at and then build on this as we work towards a marathon. I don't have any other races lined up yet in between. I don't know if I'm going to just focus on training. I'll just speak with my coach, but I don't know if I'll focus on training or just maybe get another half marathon in there. I just felt like this one fell at a really good time in the year because once you get into July, or even early August, the weather's pretty challenging. So this was I wanted to grab an opportunity to race in a great place, but with great weather as well.
But where will you continue training? It will be pretty hot in Arizona in summer. So what will be the training place?
I'm going to go to Colorado, so I'm going to go to Boulder, and I'll be in Boulder, and from here I'll go back to Boulder, and then I'll be there till July 18th, and then I'm going to go back to England, and I'll stay with my family until Munich. So I won't train in Arizona again until September.
Okay, and where in England do you live?
I was born in Manchester, and then I spent a lot of my time in Wales growing up. But my parents now live in Devon. So when I go back to England, I will stay in Devon, which is like the southwest coast.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Will you be coming back after this one?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to run the marathon here. This was my first time doing the half, and I've never done the marathon here, so either the marathon or the half, I would definitely come back for. Yeah, it was one of the best races I've run in terms of the organisation, and it's a hard place to get to, but I think the race just the logistics have been made really easy, and we really appreciate that, because it's hard, isn't it, before a race to get everything, the hotel and the transport and to the start line, everything ran really smoothly. So I'll definitely be back, and I'd love to come and support this race again.
And I just want to know, what was that talk like in your head, the personal self-talk when mile 4 you had to stop that you weren't expecting? Because you saying that had me freaking out in my head.
I was like, oh no, like at mile 1 I was like, oh no, I think I'm gonna have to stop. But then I was like, okay, just keep going, see how far you can go. But I just knew like it would have affected the rest of my race if I didn't stop. So as soon as I got back on the course, I was just trying to use the people ahead to work back into the race, and just one at a time. And I quite often, if there's someone ahead of me that I'm trying to catch, it helps me to look at the person ahead of them instead of the person that I'm trying to catch, because it gives you something to focus on that's a little further ahead. Does that make sense? So it just breaks it up a little bit more. So I just focus on one person at a time, and the guys on the course were really helpful today. Like if you call up to them, they would pull you along to the next person. So I think I was just focusing on one athlete at a time to try and get back in the race, because I was so far back at that point. I thought I was out of the race, so I just had to focus on the next 8 miles.
And I have to know, after a race, what is the first thing you crave, eat, the way that you celebrate?
It usually takes me a little while to get my appetite back, but I usually want like sparkling water or like smoothies or something like that, and then later in the day I want something proper food, you know. So me and Grace, the other girl who she was, I think she was 4 today, we were like, where should we go for dinner tonight? We're already thinking about it. So sushi, I love sushi. Let's hope there's good sushi spots here. No more pasta, I'm just pasted out, so we'll see.
Wonderful. Anybody else?
It's such an early start. What did you do for breakfast? Do you have a routine for breakfast, or?
It is an early start, but with being in Phoenix, I've been getting up at like 4 a.m. anyway to get my runs in, so it was only a little bit earlier, I guess. Just did a bagel, peanut butter, jam, just something simple, or I'll do oatmeal. That's another staple, but yeah, nothing too exciting.
It's pretty amazing. So you came out of porta potty, and then you're maybe a minute or so. Do you feel like you lost, and then?
I think I was pretty quick, maybe 30 seconds or so, but it was enough to lose contact with the leaders, and that's really hard mentally, because I really felt like I was in it, but then to have to try and, it was good mental practice though, so I knew that it would mean like my time wasn't quite what I wanted, but I could use that as an opportunity to race, and you learn something from every race, and I think just it happens in all races, like you have to claw back to the people you want to be running with, so it was really good experience.
And why did you choose running of all sports?
I was terrible at everything else. I started off playing football, soccer, and they just kept putting me in goals because I was terrible on the field, and then I tried basketball and I couldn't jump, so my mum was like, yeah, you might want to try something like swimming or running, and then I couldn't swim, I just kept drowning, so running was the only thing I could get. Not a lot of skill level, just endurance.
Wonderful. We're so glad you're here, Rosie. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so
you.
much, our best friends. We'll do wheelchair ceremony at 10:30.
Thanks for having me.
All right.